Short sellers, does ASIC need to act? And doubts about the super guarantee going up to 12%? And what's happening with poor old fruit and vegetable producer Costa Group? I'm Paul Rickard and I'm mad about money. Well, I'm particularly mad my colleague Peter Switzer has absconded from duty this morning, so you're left with me. So hello and good morning. Look, what poor old WiseTech Global has come out this morning with a response to the attack by short seller JCap. This is a real problem for Australian companies because the short sellers, particularly those overseas, are using overseas media, the lack of regulation offshore to attack some Australian companies. That's not to say that some of the claims aren't and shouldn't be investigated, but there's very little the Australian companies can do, and I'm not sure WiseTech's statement this morning is going to make that much difference. The problem for the ASIC is, of course, is it really can't touch some of these companies offshore, and they're not covered by Australian securities law. Short selling is an issue. I'm a believer in it, but I think it is time we had a bit of discussion about it. We got everyone on board and we understood what the rules are, and where there is misinformation or potentially damaging information, companies are given a chance to respond to that information before it hits the share market. That's what's been wrong with this situation with WiseTech. Okay, let's talk about the super guarantee, and thanks for the bell there, because a report in today's AFR says that the leading industry and business groups are split about whether super should go up from 9.5% to 12%. Now, under some legislation that went through the Parliament some years ago, the current rate of 9.5% is scheduled to go up to 10% on the 1st of July 2021, 10.5% on the 1st of July 2022, and all the way up to 12% by the 1st of July 2025. That's a big cost for business to meet. Suddenly they're going to be paying an extra 2.5% of their bottom line goes into superannuation. Do we need it? Well, I'm not so sure, and I guess this is why business is perhaps saying, look, let's rethink this. Also, I guess if you put this to employees themselves and said, would you rather have more in super that you won't be able to touch for 30 or 40 years or get a higher pay now, I reckon employees would vote for higher pay now. So super's not necessarily the golden goose it's set out to be. 10% sounds like a reasonable number. Maybe it's time for the Morrison government to take that back to the people and get that legislated. Finally, let's talk about poor Costa Group because it's due to come out of a trading halt this morning. It's rumoured, this is our star vegetable and fruit producer, a huge success in the share market over the last few years until two trading updates that have seen its share price get pummeled. Apparently it's due to come out with another trading update which will say that things are still pretty tough and also do a capital raising to get its balance sheet back in order. We'll find out hopefully sometime today when Costa Group comes out of a trading halt. One stock I do like, another in the, I guess in the agricultural sector but more exposed to the winds of China, is A2 Milk. I wrote about that in the Switzer report on Monday. I think there's some value there. Technicians don't quite like it yet, but at some stage I reckon that's a stock for your bottom line. Anyhow, next week, Peter Switzer will be back, I hope, and we'll do it all again. I'm Paul Rickard and I'm mad about money.